Hey everyone, so this has just happened. A 200-year-old condom has gone on display in Holland, the Netherlands. I'm going to read you a short piece on this. This is from the Associated Press. The Hague, Netherlands. The Netherlands National Museum has a new object on display that merges art with Amsterdam's infamous red light district. A nearly 200-year-old condom emblazoned with erotic art. The Rijksmuseum said in a statement that the playful prophylactic, believed to be made around 1830 from a sheep's appendix, depicts both the playful and the serious side of sexual health. It is part of an exhibition called Safe Sex. The condom, possibly a souvenir from a brothel, is decorated with an erotic image and 3 clergymen. The phrase, "This is my choice," and actually in French, that is "Voilà mon choix," which can be "This is my choice" or "There, that's my choice," is written along the sheath in French. According to the museum, this is a reference to the Pierre-Auguste Renoir painting The Judgment of Paris, which depicts the Trojan prince Paris judging a beauty contest between 3 goddesses. And a little bit more information from another article. In the 1830s, when this condom was made, the use of condoms was still frowned upon, especially by the church, explained Joyce Zellen, curator at the Rijksmuseum, where the condom is on display. Back in those days, back in the olden days when people weren't as smart and actually frowned upon this vice. The condom was inspected with a UV light and is thought not to have been used. Unlike today's latex condoms, it's believed this earlier version is made from a sheep's appendix, as has already been mentioned. And as you can see in this image, the ancient contraceptive shows a nun, partially undressed, pointing at the erect genitals of 3 clergymen alongside the message that I told you about earlier. There, that's my choice. Now, if this condom is 200 years old, that would mean it came about in the early 1800s, which was not long after the French Revolution. The French Revolution, which was absolutely horrendous for the Catholic Church. But of course, none of this needed to happen. On the 17th of June in 1689, Jesus made known to St. Margaret Mary Alacoque that he wanted King Louis XV to consecrate France to his Sacred Heart. Sadly, the consecration never took place, and exactly a century later to the very day, on the 17th of June in 1789, the French Revolution broke out and the monarchy was overthrown. Also, rather interestingly, the Jewish Enlightenment started not long before the French Revolution, in about the 1770s, also known as the Haskalah, and it was considered a significant intellectual and social movement that emerged in Central and Eastern Europe, by which Jewish people were enlightened, basically becoming more liberalized and becoming atheists, turning on God. Experts say its owner, the owner of this condom, would have been fairly sophisticated and well educated. So whoever owned this condom with a nun and some clergymen exposing their genitalia on it would have been a rather sophisticated person. Thanks to the Enlightenment, thanks to the French Revolution, this is how sophisticated people became. And now no longer do people have to buy these things at brothels or in barber shops. Now they can get them at their local store. Just ask for them over the counter. But the fact that this condom has this image on it, this disgusting image, shows just how much the Catholic Church was hated. Obviously, the French Revolution points to how much it was hated. And this condom here, which was made not long after the French Revolution, is just rubbing it in even more. It isn't enough to have the condom itself, which already is immoral. They have to have a disgraceful image on the condom, depicting essentially a nun and some priests who are about to have sex, I suppose. I assume that's what they're getting at with that picture. And of course, if we lived in a moral world and something like this was found, it would have either been destroyed or maybe it would have been put into some kind of museum depicting the disgusting horrors that people did in the past. Look how immoral people used to be. Here's an example of that, something that we found from 200 years ago. But no, It's in an exhibition on safe sex, and the image depicts a bald man, a thin man, and a slightly overweight one. And supposedly the reason that it's unclear who the nun is pointing at, according to this curator, Miss Zellen or Mrs. Zellen, that way any type of man could feel spoken to by the nun. So folks, let me know what you think about this thing. I think it's rather disgusting, and once again it shows where we are at as a society. And well done once again Western Europe for being so immoral. A combination of Holland and France this time. This thing coming from France and being displayed by Holland. So well done the pair of those countries for being so sexually deviant. Thank you very much for watching the video, folks. Have yourselves a blessed day.